President Biden leaves for Brussels a short time from now, about 2.5 hours, ahead of a meeting with NATO leaders tomorrow and a visit to Poland on Friday. During the president's trip, he may announce plans for the United States to permanently maintain an increased number of troops in Eastern Europe, including in Poland. Biden and his European counterparts also expected to announce new sanctions against Russia, as well as new measures to tighten existing sanctions. Joining us now from Brussels, NBC News correspondent Josh Lederman, and here in New York, the host of Way Too Early and White House bureau chief at Politico, Jonathan Lemire. Guys, good morning. Josh, I'll begin with you in Brussels. What do we expect to hear from the president tomorrow?
Well, Willie, the U.S. and Western allies are gearing up to slap new sanctions on President Putin and the Russian government when they meet here in Brussels later this week. But the million-dollar question right now is whether Europe is going to be able to follow the lead of the U.S. in banning imports of Russian oil and gas, something that has been a hot topic of debate at the European Union this week as they try to figure out what more they can do to put economic pressure without making extremely difficult problems for the European populations here at home. And there are some real disagreements within the EU about that. You have countries like Poland and the Baltic nations that are ready to go. They've already worked to wean themselves partially off of Russian energy, the Poles striking a deal with Saudi Arabia, and other countries that say, look, we can't afford to do this. The German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, in a new interview just out this morning, saying, look, this is not as simple as putting on a thicker sweater in the winter. We are going to have hospitals and nursing homes and schools that could be without electricity and heat if they actually ban imports of Russian energy. He says Germany will not go along with that. But I have to tell you, here in Europe, we are meeting a lot of people who are very keen on doing whatever they can to try to cut off the funds that Putin needs for his war. And I want you to hear from a man I met last night, Jean Belot, who we met at a demonstration here outside of the European Council in support of banning Russian energy, and he told me why he's willing to restrict his own energy use if it means putting more pressure on Putin. Take a listen.
I am 70 years old, so I always lived in peace in all European countries, and it's the first time after that that I see a risk of a war on the continent. That's what I'm here to manifest, to show that I am against war, for sure. But I am always also here because I think we don't have enough courage to stop the commercial relationship about oil and gas and so on with Russia. Because as a matter of fact, we finance the war.
So that's the mood here in Europe, Willie, as nations wonder whether the war in Ukraine is something that could threaten security in other parts of the continent. And to that end, we are expecting that when Biden meets with NATO leaders, there will be new announcements from NATO and from its allies, not only about supporting Ukraine, but also about bolstering NATO's own defenses, with NATO potentially expected to announce it's creating new multinational battle groups that will be combat ready and deployed to the eastern flank of NATO. Officials also telling NBC News that it's possible that President Biden will announce sending more troops on a permanent basis to Eastern Europe. Willie?
President leaves shortly, arrives this evening, Brussels time, and will speak tomorrow. Josh Lederman in Brussels for us. Josh, thanks so much.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.